April 16, 2007. It was an early morning on the Virginia Tech school campus. Thousands of students showed up to class like an ordinary day. There was no fear in anyone's mind. That morning, a young senior walked into the campus and began shooting erratically. This man was responsible for killing 32 innocent people for unknown reasons. Little did people know that this would turn out to be one of the deadliest shootings in U.S. history. On that day, no one expected a gunman to enter the school and go on a shooting spree. Why? Because guns aren't allowed on campus. This led everyone to believe that no one else was armed with a gun and therefore would be safe. After hearing this, you may be thinking, why shouldn't guns be banned? This would reduce crime, right? The real question is, will gun control reduce crime? I've developed experience with this topic because I'm an avid gun collector and sportsman alike. I personally believe that stricter gun control laws will not reduce crime in America for 3 reasons. First, more guns in the hands of good people reduces crime. Second, criminals know that people with firearms are vulnerable to attack. And third, felons don't follow laws. First, gun control will not reduce crime because populations with more guns have less violence. Nations and cities with the strictest gun control laws have the highest rates of violence. The National Center for Policy Analysis reported that in 1976, Washington, D.C. enacted one of the strictest gun control laws in the United States at that time. Since then, the murder rate has risen 134%, and while the national murder rate dropped 2%. The National Center for Policy Analysis also reported that among the top 15 states with the highest murder rates, 10 of those states have very restrictive gun laws. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, since a gun ban was implemented in Australia, gun-related crime did decrease by 47%. However, the violent crime increased substantially. Cities that have less restrictive gun laws have the lowest crime rates. The FBI reported that Arlington, Virginia, even though it was right next to D.C., has significantly less violence than D.C. because of its less strict gun laws. According to the FBI, gun violence in the U.S. has decreased over the past 4 years. Despite an increase in gun sales, the murder rate has also decreased by 17% in the past 10 years. Second, gun control will not reduce crime because criminals don't pay attention to laws. Criminals have no problem breaking the law when acquiring a firearm. An interview of prison inmates by William Lejeune of Fox News said that 40% of the inmates that he interviewed acquired their gun through the black market illegally. A national survey of prison inmates said that 80% of inmates in the United States got their gun from an unauthorized gun dealer. Gun control laws will only take away guns from honest citizens while keeping guns in the hands of criminals. Gun control would only affect law-abiding citizens because these are the people that actually follow the laws. Criminals disregard the law and can get a gun by another illegal means. Finally, gun control will not reduce crime because criminals know that people with firearms are more vulnerable to attack. With stricter gun control laws, criminals would make assumptions that the general population aren't carrying guns to protect themselves, therefore making them vulnerable to an attack. Criminals are less likely to rob, attack, or rape someone if they knew that that person was armed with a firearm to protect themselves. A survey called The Armed Criminal in America, done by the U.S. Bureau of Justice, said that 60% of felons admitted avoiding committing crimes if they knew that that person was armed. According to the Journal of Criminal Law and Criminology, thousands of murders, rapes, and attacks are prevented by a person who drew a firearm on their attacker. Criminals were, in fact, more likely to attack a person if they were unarmed. Think about it like this. If you took the horns off of a gazelle, would that not make it easier for the lion to attack it? This is similar to firearms and violence because when you make it easier for criminals to attack, they will attack and they will have nothing to fear. This is why most criminal attacks happen in gun-free zones. Criminals want the easiest target when committing a crime. In conclusion, stricter gun control laws will not reduce crimes because more guns in the hands of good people reduces crime. Criminals don't pay attention to laws, and criminals know that people without firearms are vulnerable to attack. When looking back at mass shootings like Aurora, Colorado, movie theater shootings, and the Virginia Tech school massacre, think about how many people could have been saved if one or several law-abiding citizens had been carrying a firearm to protect themselves.